Welcome to the Energy Healing Lifestyle Journal Self-Care Challenge. My name is Robin Knott, and I'm your host of the channel and the founder of the EnergyHealingSchool.com. This evening, I'm going to walk you through my journaling process and share some real-life examples along the way. So if you have your journal, I have mine. Come journal with me. So getting started, getting in that space, being open and willing to listen to yourself, right? We're going to ask ourselves a question, which might lead into more, but we're just going to, again, listen. Be willing to hear what you have to say. Sorry, I'm a little off here. Okay. I write out the word self-care challenge because for us, self-care is an acronym, right? Underline the letter S because today on Mondays, we focus on self in mind, body, and soul. In my healing system of Best You, we focus on the letter B for beliefs, which is both governed by root chakra energy. So a big theme lately, a big focus of mine has been on codependency patterns and breaking them, right? So if you're taking my 5-day BU challenge, some of this might sound pretty familiar to you. So the journal prompt for the day, how does codependency affect your root chakra? So you ask yourself the question and you allow yourself to answer, right? So I'm going to go over some general information first, again, just to, if you need a refresher, if you need a refresher. So root chakra, excuse me. I had the hiccups earlier, now I'm yawning. All that energy. So root chakra, again, is located at the base of the spine. Again, it is aligned with and governs your physical body, and it has to do with that connection to earth, right? And your basic survival. So meaning for the human body, survival of the human. I don't want to go too deep yet on things you may notice, so I didn't lie, but I changed my mind. So what comes about, we talk about the codependency, that's what I want to touch on. Forgive me. Codependency and those survival skills, that survival mode for the human. So oftentimes, if you have codependency patterns, most of us have experienced some form of neglect or abuse as a kid. So remember, even though we're adults now and we look at things maybe differently now, or when things we have those light bulb moments and then we're like, why am I doing this? Or why do I still look at this way, right? Because we process and understand things differently as an adult than what we did as a kid. So as a kid, we had an experience and we started to learn that using some of these codependency patterns helped us, in a sense, survive, or at least we didn't consciously make that connection, but part of the energy in the root chakra, part of the human ability, part of the human's automatic survival skills. That's what it is. You just find ways, right? And oftentimes, again, these ways turn out to be codependency patterns. They're not healthy ways, but they worked. And again, you're a kid. You don't know. You didn't sit down and plan it all out and figure it out and get all strategic about it, right? You just learn to do things and you learn to do things differently and you learn to do things differently and you learn to do things differently until you found a way where you thought, not even thought, where you felt a sense of security, right? It helped you figure out how to move in your world in that moment. That whole conversation is making me really hot, so forgive me. All of that, again, deals with the energy in the root chakra. Root chakra deals with the physical, including the mind. The mind is partly physical, right? Triggers different things in the brain. The brain feeds, connects, sends and receives messages from all the nerves in our body. So when we're having those feelings like anxiety, where we're sensing some fear or sensing threat, right? Because you're a kid, somebody gets super angry around you, you feel threatened, it's scary. So it wonkies, gets the energy in the root chakra pretty wonky, right? And then again, we create these codependency patterns. Well, as these patterns continue on throughout our life, because we have this stuff that we haven't been able to fully process, then that energy continues to stay wonky in the root chakra. So when the energy continues to stay wonky in the root chakra, it can present in dis-ease. All that being said, so some physical things you might notice, changes in your weight. Mine seems to always be, not always, don't want to use that word. My weight has historically been up and down, up and down, up and down. Addictions, food, right? I've talked before about eating emotions. It might have elimination problems, pain or discomfort in your extremities, knees, hips, hands, feet. Might even have a low immune system. Again, eating disorders, whether it's overeating, undereating, using laxatives, whatever it may be, purging, having again that fear, excuse me, where you feel threatened, feel insecure, might even feel depression. So these codependency patterns, again, if we don't break them, right? If we don't change them and find a better way, that is cute. Sorry, my granddaughter is showing me all these cute pictures she's drawing on her tablet. If we don't break these codependency patterns, if we don't find a better way, then that energy continues to be imbalanced in the root chakra. We may continue, if we haven't already, either begin to notice some of those difficulties or continue to experience some of those difficulties, right? We heal in layers. So again, no blame, shame, or guilt. It's a process. So in this journaling process, I covered some of those basics, but I want you to sit with that and check in with your body, check in with you. What do you experience? Do you have any difficulties with elimination? Do you have any eating types of disorders? Do you find that you binge a lot, or do you eat your emotions, as I say? Do you starve yourself? Do you feel safe and secure? Do you feel grounded in your body? Do you feel threatened? Do you feel like you're always on fight, flight, freeze mode? Always on guard, ready to shift, ready to pivot, ready to defend yourself, ready to run? What's it like for you? And have you and are you identifying your own patterns of codependency? Again, coda.org is a really good resource for codependency, by the way. I'm going to continue talking about it. I use that a lot, just so you know, where I get a lot of my information, maybe not all of it, but a lot of my information off that website. But I like to make these connections with our chakras, right? Because I love energy healing and I like working with the chakras. So again, in self-care, that acronym, the letter S, dealing with self, dealing with the body, mind, soul, governed by the root chakra, and your beliefs, which are also rooted in your root chakra, which are the roots of how you experience your life. So if you remember, I've used the example a couple times, like you and I could both be in the same house, experience a terrible storm at the same time. And I might be freaked out and terrified, hiding in a closet or a basement. And you might be fascinated, like wanting to see how it plays out, what happens next, right? Later on in our futures, I might be terrified every time there's a storm, and you might become a storm chaser, right? Based on our beliefs, based on our own differences, the very same experience, but experienced very differently. And some of that really deals with our beliefs. Again, root chakra energy. So let me know how this is going for you. Trying to think if I want to add anything else. So we talked before about root chakra and trauma responses, right? Or reactions. Codependency patterns are created as a reaction or a response to trauma as well. So if you are noticing that you have or can identify with some patterns of codependency, we leave blame, shame, and guilt at the door, not doing it. We're not beating ourselves up because of our life experience and how we figured out how to survive it. I saw that green blip go across the screen. We are, on the other hand, being honest with ourselves, being brave, taking a look at what they are, how we use them, and then choosing to break them or not. Yeah, we have a choice, right? There's some stigma around codependency. I'd like to squash that, really. I'd like to squash it. So, squash it with me. Don't forget to check the description box for any offers and updates. Of course, the link to my site is there so you can see what I'm offering to help you along your journey as well. Don't forget to like the video and subscribe to the channel. It really helps me out a lot. That is super cute. And don't forget also to meet me back here tomorrow for sacral chakra energy. We're going to talk some more about how codependency affects the energy in the sacral chakra. So be gentle with yourself. So much love. Again, if you're willing, drop it in the comments. Let me know what came up for you in this journal prompt, and I will see you tomorrow.